My name is Anna Kessel and I am Executive Director for Development at Sky Sports. Growing up, I was not sporty at all. Going to school and seeing out on the street, the boys would be playing football. And I didn't know how they knew to play football, but all I knew was that I didn't. And so that wasn't something that we joined in with. And it's not like I wanted to play football. I didn't know how to play football. I didn't necessarily want to play, but I just knew there was something fundamentally wrong in my little 5-year-old head that I couldn't do something that boys could do. And I could see that it was gendered, but I just couldn't see a way through it. And I started through school to come in contact with a couple of girls who were playing for local teams. And then, of course, we had the men's Euros in 1996, and this was this huge sporting moment that united the country. It was cultural. It wasn't just about the game itself and who could access it through playing it, but it was something that touched everybody. And it was a really pivotal moment. Women in football came about when I started on my sports journalism journey. Back in 2004, I started at The Observer, and most of the sport that I was covering was men's football. And I'd go out to matches to cover the match or go to do interviews. And I'd sort of look around to see other women in the stadium or other women at the training ground and catch their eye and be like, oh, there's another woman there. And it was that sense of isolation, really. And so the idea for bringing women together as a professional network was born through those early experiences in the industry. You know, X amount of years later has grown to like 5,000 members, and it is a really strong and thriving and accepted, I think. At the time, it was kind of radical to think that women would get together to talk about football. I am super proud of my time at the Telegraph. You've got to remember that the newspaper landscape in this country has always been very conservative around women's sport. The fact that the Telegraph, which is a conservative newspaper, wanted to launch a dedicated women's sport department. This wasn't something tokenistic. This wasn't just a one-woman thing. This was an entire department. We wanted to shape our own script. We didn't just want a kind of lesser replica of the men's game. We really wanted to tell our own stories. And then winning a stack of awards and really starting to change the direction and thought process around women's sport coverage proved that actually, if you really want to do this, you can do this. And the talent is out there. You just got to believe in them and give them the opportunities. I didn't see myself joining a TV company. I've worked in newspapers for, years and years and years. Sky Sports said, we have a new vision for Sky Sports. We want to be the most inclusive sports media organisation in Europe, and would you help us rewrite the script on our women's sports coverage? Women actually have so much richness about the stories that they can tell. We can talk about being mothers, but we are not defined by being mothers. We can talk about periods, but we are not defined by our periods, and women will have different experiences around that. So I'm really fed up of women being put into these little boxes all the time. Let us be the incredible, strong characters and very varied and interesting characters that we are, please, in multiple technicolor, because you know what, we will show up and you will be enthralled. So let us please be those. There's so many badass women in women's football right now. I mean, it's a really exciting and energizing space. We have such an opportunity in women's sport to create a structure that's much more equitable, much more forward-facing, and much more modern and fresh and relevant. Let us shape the story in the right way. And I think it's really important that we don't get that opportunity wrong.